got our tripod. This is the tripod bag. I'll bring it up here close and personal so you can see. I know I'm going to go very, very basic on a lot of this, so hopefully that's okay with you. But this opens up around like this, as well as it goes down the length all the way to the bottom there, so you can open it all the way up to get out this tripod. Once you've got the tripod out here, you've got some different levers here. You lift that up, and that will just lower the first area here. So you lower that, come down to the foot of this. You'll see another lever, and that'll take out the rest of that foot. Okay. So you just want to do that with all three. I'm just going to do that here real quick. Okay. So there's the tripod. You're set up. And of course you want this lever here in the back. If you can see this right here, this is the lever that you're going to be using to control everything with. And I'll bring this down just a bit now so you can see it a little easier here on the camera. Okay. I'm going to lock those down every time that you get it in place. Now, one thing that you want to understand is with this tripod, there's a little thing right here underneath it. There's a little lever here, or a little pole. This pole, if twisted counterclockwise, okay, clockwise, excuse me, will loosen it. Counterclockwise will tighten it. So if you want to loosen it, there's a little thing. I'll show you this real quick here. There's a little leveler. Can you see a little green leveler? Okay, that green leveler, that's a little bubble. If it's right in the center, you know it's level. So when you set up your tripod, you want to put it exactly where you want it, get it to the height that you want it. Then, once you get that green little bubble centered into that circle, just twist it and tighten. Okay, so just continuing on, we've got our tripod set up. Everything should be all right there, and you should have it all leveled and square to where you want it, and ready to do some shooting here. We've got here this Pelican case, and for those of you that have never seen a Pelican case before, fantastic. It's pretty much indestructible. You can step on it and drop it and all that kind of stuff. So if you're borrowing it, I mean, be gentle and be careful with it, but it is very, very durable. When you open up the Pelican case, I'll just go ahead and open it up here. You've got two latches. You're just going to open it up like so. Can you see this all right? Let me know. I'll edit some of this anyway. Got it? Okay. Inside of the Pelican case, there's everything that you need to be able to live stream an event. Okay, and right now I'm just going to point out the different things in here because everything has its spot, and it's imperative that you put everything back in its spot because it'll keep the integrity of the foam casing around everything intact, as well as it'll best protect all of the different items that are in the case here. Right here in the very back, you see this little red box. This is your live stream broadcaster. Okay, I'm going to put it back for now. We'll take it out in just a bit. But there's your live stream broadcaster. You've got a light that you can utilize that actually turns on. It's pretty darn bright there, but it gets brighter than that. But this light you can use if you're in the dark or in a night setting or something like that. You need to still have some light there. We've got our full 1080p HD digital camera, which is phenomenal. We'll be setting that up here in just a second. Underneath this digital camera, there is a V-bracket. This V-bracket is perfect for putting on and attaching either microphones and or the live stream broadcaster, and that will fit right here. We'll do that in just a minute, but that's underneath the camera. Okay, and then we have a variety of different cords. We've got a Cat 5 cable for plugging directly into the internet. We've got the power cord, which is in two parts, that goes to the camera. This is part one. Part two is right over here. This is part two, and it just plugs together. It's pretty simple. We'll go over that in just a second. We also have, underneath all of this, we have our wireless hotspot. Okay, hotspot internet provider here, and we'll go through kind of how to set that up and what that looks like as well. Then back here we've got a microphone, handheld wireless microphone, and then over here we've got our body pack. This is the transmitter for the wireless mic, the lapel mic. And then over here we have both of the, that's a transmitter. We have both of the receivers. So one is for the body pack and one is for the handheld. Okay, and those go right here. So, in here you'll find different cords. We've got a HDMI cable that goes from the the broadcaster, the live stream broadcaster to the camera. We've got a plug for the live stream broadcaster. We've got a plug for the wireless hotspot to make sure it's all charged up. We've got cords that go into the camera for the audio that click into the receivers. We have the microphone actually set, the actual lapel mic that goes into the body pack. And then we also have the plug right here, the plug that goes into the wall for the cord that goes to the wireless hotspot. Okay. There's also, you'll see a remote in here, which you're always welcome to use if you want to. I don't ever use this. This goes to the digital camera. So if you want to use that and have a need for it, you're definitely welcome to do that. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the process of setting this all up. You see where it all is and kind of where it all goes. I'm going to now take it one piece at a time, set it up on the tripod, put it all together so that you know exactly what to do. So let's go ahead and get started. Start off taking the camera out as well as the V bracket. Okay, I've got both of these items. I'm going to go ahead and, that's probably really loud, but that's okay. We'll keep on going. This doesn't have to be perfect. You want to put this in, and let me show you what I'm doing here. You're going to take this, and you'll see on this, if you want to, why don't you bring that over here actually real quick. I've got McKay helping me film some of this. If you look on top of this, you'll see this little red button here on the side, okay? This little red button will help you to get it in place the proper way. You'll take the camera, and facing forward, here's the back end of the tripod, right? So facing the camera forward, you'll slide it, if you can see that. Can you see that all right? You'll slide it right in, you'll hear it click, okay? It still can move forward, but you don't want it to. You want it to be centered on there, so let's level that out. And then on this side of the tripod, you have a little black lever here. This little black lever, if you turn up that way, that will lock the camera in place, okay? So I've got the camera locked in place. I'm going to turn it back around here forward. Take the V bracket. I'm going to slide this into this little area you can see right here. This little silver area. This part, this little base of the V bracket slides right into that. And you want to tighten that with this little circle. Okay? So now I got the V bracket in place and it's tightened up. Now I'm going to grab the broadcaster, the live stream broadcaster, and I'm going to put that also right here on this. You can see there's a little screw female end here to the male end, and we're just going to go ahead and screw that right on. Okay. And what I want is when I'm putting this in, it'll go to a certain point, but I want to keep it, I don't want to go all the way because I want to be able to see the screen here of the live stream broadcaster. So I keep it towards me and I just adjust underneath here this little tightening device. Okay. Just tighten it right there. So now it's all facing me. Now, usually when you're going to be live streaming, you're probably not going to be utilizing the microphones, but we will set them up later. But first I want to go through here and just show you what to have the settings on if you're just going to be using the microphone that's on the camera already, which picks up fairly well. A lot of our live streaming events, we do utilize just this microphone here. So if you look on the side here of this camera, you see here, you've got your different channels. This is channel 1 and channel 2. Okay, those are set to microphone. You don't need to worry about that right now, but what you do want to notice is this little button right here that says INT and EXT. INT means internal mic, or the mic that's on the camera already, or external mic if you have a different microphone plugged in. When you're making sure that, if you don't have a microphone plugged in, just make sure that that is switched over to INT, or internal microphone. Otherwise, you're not going to hear any sound. Okay, no one will hear it, and you'll wonder what's going on. But that's a small fix, and that's probably the problem. Make sure it's on internal microphone if you don't have any microphones plugged into it. Okay, so we've got that all set up. Okay, so we've got it to this point. We've got our tripod, our camera, our V bracket, and our live stream broadcaster here all in place. Now really what you want to start doing is start plugging everything in and make sure you've got all the different connections the right way that you want them. So I'm going to reach down here in the box again, and I already showed you all of these, but I'll tell you what I'm grabbing here. I'm grabbing this HDMI cord that you can see right here, which is going to go from the broadcaster to the camera. I'm grabbing the power supply to the broadcaster. Why don't we just start with those first of all and get the broadcaster kind of all set and ready. Now, I'm going to, just to make things easier, I'm going to go ahead and take these cords here, and you see a little loop here that's typically for holding a microphone. this little circle here that's attached to the HD camera. I'm going to just start funneling the cords through that so that they are out of the way of the lens down here. This way, no matter how they hang or where they go, they're not going to get in the way of the lens, and you don't have to worry about it there. On this HDMI cable here, you can see the input right there on the back of this. Again, I'm going to funnel it through here, this little hole. I'm going to put it right into the back of the broadcaster. And now, just so you can see where the other side goes, if you swing this around here, which I will, underneath this little handle that says Canon here, if you lift that up just a tad, there's a little compartment under here. Take your nail, open that up. Hopefully you can see that okay. I'll do it one more time. That opens right up there. You see that? It opens right up there. And then there's a little input right here for the HDMI cable that just comes right in there. Make sure it's all secure in there really well, otherwise you won't have a good enough connection to make it work. And then, depending on whether you're plugging into a direct internet source, if you're plugging direct, or if you're utilizing the wireless, will depend on what you want to do here. But let's act like we're going to be plugging in. I'll grab here our Cat5 cable. This goes right along in the back of this broadcaster as well. You can see, and I'll typically funnel this exactly the same way through that little loop, and then it goes right here alongside. Now, once you've got everything plugged in and ready, the little switch, the on and off switch, is right here. Don't miss it. It's hard to miss, but it's right there. You'll see tiny, tiny little letters on and off, okay? That's one you're going to want to flip on to turn everything on here for that broadcaster. Now, let's go ahead and turn this back around here a little bit. What I'd like to do is, now that I've got my broadcaster all set up, of course we do want to make sure that we're running power to the HDMI camera. This is the door to open it up so you can start looking at it and seeing, you know, the viewfinder here. So that opens up and it swivels. It can do a full swivel, 180 degree, or you're probably not going to want them to see themselves being recorded. You just want to be able to monitor that yourself. So you open that up. Power button is right up here. Power button's right here on the top of the camera. So you can turn that on. And once that turns on, everything will pop up and you're all set. Now, for zooming, because you're going to want to zoom in some of these different circumstances, different things that you're going to be live streaming, you're going to either zoom up here, up on top. You'll see a start-stop button right here. And you'll see a T and a W. That means toward and away, right? To and way. I don't know. Anyway, towards and away from it. So that can be your zoom right there, as well as you have another option back here in the back. So let's swing this just around a little bit. There's also a start button right here. You can see it in red, highlighted silver, and with a little red on that, accented. That's your also another on and off button, and then right here is another towards and away button. The reason why they have these different ones is because you can actually take off this whole handle piece if you wanted just a smaller, more compact thing to go out and film something. But just for your information, you can use either one of those. Okay, so I'm going to go down here and I'm going to grab the power cord. Remember, we talked about it being in two different parts. This is the power cord for the HD camera. So I'm just going to unravel it all here. This portion right here plugs into each other. Right there you can see those kind of just go together. So you put those together, piece one, piece two. Here's the adapter side that goes into the camera. This will come right around here to the back of the camera. You see there's the housing, or there's the battery for the camera if you're going to go without power. But when you're doing a live stream, you always want to plug it in. It will time out if it's not plugged in appropriately. So right down here you can see a little black hole. Hopefully you can see that there. And this just plugs right into that. Make sure it's pushed all the way in, okay? And of course the other end you just want to plug into whatever power source you have there, whatever outlet is closest. So right now, at this point, we've got everything set up if you're plugging it in. Now real quick, if you don't have this cord, if you don't have the ability to have a Cat5 cable go directly in, then you're not going to use this, obviously. What you're going to do instead is you're going to pull out your little hotspot. Okay, this is a Verizon hotspot. This will always be in the case. And the Verizon hotspot is fairly simple. On and off switch is right up here on the top of it. Little button right there you can see. A little on and off. You'll just push that down and turn it on. We'll try that again. There we go. And here you can see Verizon pops up. It'll take a couple seconds to load up and you should be all set. If you need to insert a password, I'll tell you that, show you that in just a minute. But for now, well, we'll go ahead and do that. So if you want to come around here, oh, you know what, and let me show you one more thing. When you're plugging everything into a power source or an extension cord, this will also come with the tripod typically, this brown extension cord. What I like about this brown extension cord is it helps you to keep things in place. The power supply for the broadcaster has a short cable. So what I like to do is I actually like to hook it in this way, where I'll bring the power supply around to the back and I'll plug it in through this little opening here in one of the legs of the tripod. That way it stays secure, it's up there, and it's not tugging from here on the broadcaster, okay? So I like to secure that. Now that I have that secured and everything is all set, we've got our live stream right here. You can see it's kind of starting to come up. So we're here. You see right now we've got the broadcaster box right here. I also have the Verizon Jetpack wireless hotspot. And I'm going to show you, if you need to, how to sync these two together. First of all, can you see that screen right there, that front screen? I can bring it closer too. See that all right? So on this front screen, it'll say press OK to unlock. We don't have any key or anything to unlock. You just press OK. You'll see the menu there. You want to hit OK on the menu. And really what you're looking for here, probably one of the only things that you're going to need to worry about is getting this password, just in case you have to put it into the broadcaster over here. Here's the password. It says 64FBB052. That's the password for the remote for this wireless hotspot to connect with the broadcaster. So I'm going to put that up here right now for reference. And then when I get into here, it says please connect me to the internet. You've got two buttons here on the side. You've got one that has kind of an indent and one that is kind of circular coming out towards me. So what you want to do is this menu button, it's down here on the bottom button, at least that's what it's associated with here. So you click the menu button. Now it says connect via either Ethernet, wireless, you can do a 3G or 4G connection, and so those are your basic options. We're going to be going now wireless because again we're not plugged into the Ethernet. So you're going to again click that same round out button that's facing you. You're going to click that to choose wireless. You're going to click scan SSID to look for the wireless signal. That's now working and searching for all the different wireless networks in the area. And if you're in a location that has free wireless or you've already paid for the wireless, you can definitely use their wireless as well. But as this scans, you'll see it brings a couple different ones. You see we've got the Verizon 291L, and it keeps on going. That is this wireless hotspot. And it'll actually show you right here the name of it just above the password. It says Verizon 291 LVW-F06F. So that will be the designation for this hotspot right here. You see that Stromberg popped up and other things popped up, but you want to just go ahead and make sure this little arrow there is pointing at the Verizon. And by the way, these little knobs, these buttons, they're not just buttons that you can push in, they're knobs that you can actually go in different directions with as well. So to choose, you use the lower button and you just click down and this will scroll through what's available by way of wireless connections. I'm going to go ahead and choose the Verizon hotspot. It'll say WPA PSK password. That's where you're going to go ahead and enter this password that we talked about before, which was 64FBB052. That shouldn't change. So that's 64FBB052. I'm going to go ahead and put it in here utilizing this dial. Down and up will change what it is, but again it's 6, down to 4, up to F, and it is case sensitive, so you want to make sure you're putting in the right case. Then 2 B's, oops, B, 0, 5, 2. Go to the next one and hit and press in for OK. It's now going to find that connection for you. It'll take just a minute. Okay, it starts going through its process. It's acquiring the connection there, contacting live stream, getting connected to your account or to Stromberg's account so you can start live streaming your event. Once we've got it all synced and ready, which it's you can see right here, it's starting to flash on the internet side, so it's connecting to the internet. It's connected to the camera. You can see that blue little camera right there. It shows that you are connected to the camera. And you see here it's currently on IBD trainings. Now what you want to do is make sure that you're on the right event. So again, down to the bottom button here, you'll click on Menu. You'll click on Event. It'll load the different events that are available. And if you're utilizing this for a grand opening, or if you're doing an IBD training, or if you're doing just a basic real estate and opportunity presentation that's not necessarily a grand opening, you've got some different options here. We have one that says Coach's Corner, because there are times where our coaches will also post some different trainings for clients. So you just choose the one that is associated with your event. I'm going to go ahead and click on Grand Openings there. It'll go ahead and choose the grand opening. You can choose the quality, and I'm going to recommend, as you're messing with this or playing with it and trying to figure out how exactly to use this for yourself, it gives you different options. It gives you adaptive mobile, adaptive normal, adaptive medium, and you can go as good as HD right there. You see that? Adaptive HD. There's different things, fixed mobile. You want to always use the adaptive ones, because if you have a varying signal strength, you want to make sure that it'll adapt and change for you. If you set it to a fixed signal strength, it could easily jump off of that signal if that signal at all gets depleted by someone else using the internet or whatever the case may be. So always use these adaptive ones. And I typically put the setting on either normal, or if I have a really weak signal, I'll put it on mobile. Now you can pick up the jetpack here, and you can see how strong your signal is by, again, scrolling down here, getting out of the password, closing that, and then going down here, closing this as well. And you can see right here, it'll show you your bars, and right here we're at full bars, so we've got a very strong signal. And you can, even with that strong of a signal, I would recommend, because this is a wireless, I'd recommend doing either doing normal. You may be able to do medium, but that could also have the potential of jumping you off the signal and making you having to restart your live stream broadcast, which will chop it up for people that are trying to view it and not be as great of an experience. So I would recommend always keeping it on the normal, and if needed, putting it down to the mobile adaptation there. So top button will help you get back. You see the arrow, which means go back. So you've got the right events set. You've got the right quality. It shows you grand openings here, quality, adaptive, normal. And when you're ready to go, after all said and done, you just click the button, go live. I'm just going to show you real quick by clicking it. It'll say, do you want to notify your followers? Go ahead and click yes. It'll go ahead and start the whole event, and it'll show you live. And just for sake of purpose of showing, I'm going to go ahead and click on yes. So this is starting the broadcast. It shows you right there, starting broadcast, grand openings, started live. So it'll show you this whole time as it's streaming. It'll say perfect or bad signal, or it'll talk to you. So make sure you're keeping a good eye on what's going on, paying attention to that, and if needed, changing out the signal strength or the quality at which you're live streaming this event. When you're ready and you're all set with the event and it's over, you're going to, again, top button there says stop. You're going to go ahead and click stop. It'll say, are you sure? You go ahead and choose on the bottom button, click yes. It's stopping the grand openings. It's stopping the live stream. It'll be saving everything that you've just done online, but it will give you an option. Do you want to post it right now? Do you want to save it as a draft so that we can help you edit it later? Maybe take off the beginning and end if you were extended on those, on the bookends there. Or if you don't want to save that specific live stream event, you can delete it. This was just a test, so I'm going to go ahead and scroll down and delete this one. It says finishing broadcast, which is just basically finishing the command I just gave it. And you're all set. So we've gone through a lot. Hopefully that all made sense. We did both wireless and wired. And can you see me now? And I believe that at this point, hopefully you should have a basic understanding on how to set everything up, how to run it through the event. And if you ever, what I would always recommend is always to have a laptop next to you running off of a different signal. So not on this signal, but hopefully on a different signal. That way you can always also see what your end user is seeing. If it's choppy for you, it may be choppy for them. Sometimes it is based on their home signal and different things like that. But you definitely want to keep that there so that you can also check the sound, make sure people are hearing what's being said, make sure, again, back to this little part of the camera that they've got the correct setting here, either the internal or external mic, depending on what you did. But for now, we're going to go ahead. That's kind of phase one. We can get into later adding in microphones and different things to this, but I think this will get everyone started in the right direction to be able to live stream your own event. Thanks, everyone.